I heard you playing the organ across the way, Mrs. Hurd called. Yes, ma'am, over to Mrs. Cobb's. You're much better than that wretched Lillian Woodward. She hasn't played anything faster than a dirge since the Civil War. I didn't see you at church. She smiled and winked at him. I went every Sunday until my hair turned white, and in all that time I never heard a sermon worth that. And she snapped her fingers in front of him, a dry, soft sort of snap. So one day I up and decided I wouldn't go anymore. Imagine that, Turner III. After all, why should Sundays be so dreary? Turner wondered if his hair would have to be white before he didn't have to put up with dreary Sundays. Not that I think your father's dreary, Mrs. Hurd said quickly. It's just that I've gotten into the habit of keeping the Sabbath here at home. She balled her hand into a fist and pounded, sort of, her chest. Here is where God speaks. Here is where I listen. A sudden gust of warm wind came up and swirled a moment around them both. But watching Mrs. Hurd's old white hand, watching the surprising fist, Turner shivered. He wondered what his father would say to Mrs. Hurd. He wondered if his father would believe, really believe, the things he might say to Mrs. Hurd. Do you think I'm wicked? She asked. I don't think you could be wicked if you tried, Mrs. Hurd. Oh, it's not that difficult. You hardly have to practice at all. Mrs. Hurd, whenever I play over to Mrs. Cobb's, that's for you too. She smiled at him. Turner, that is one of the nicest things you could ever give to me, she said. You might play, I have some friends before me gone. I'm trying not to give Mrs. Cobb hymns about dying. Good Lord, Turner III, she's almost as old as I am. Every second thought is about dying, and she doesn't have any friends before her gone anyway. But I'd rather she didn't think of dying while I'm playing. Mrs. Hurd considered this. No, she finally agreed. You wouldn't want her to die while you're playing. That wouldn't be polite. But if she does die while you're working on I have some friends before me gone, be sure to finish the chorus before you cover her up. Mrs. Hurd, that is wicked. Well, I suppose you might stop to cover her up, but be sure to go back and finish the chorus.